Where Did the Plants and Animals Go? By Ethan Bull. Have you ever dreamed of discovering a new type of animal or plant? Have you ever wondered how many types of animals and plants disappear each day? Scientists say that 30,000 types of animals and plants disappear each year. That means 80 types of animal and plants disappear every day. These are large numbers. Have you ever wondered how scientists know all of these numbers? Scientists collect data or information as they do research in different parts of the world. Then they use this information to predict what they think is happening in the whole world. How do scientists tell people about the information that they have? Scientists sometimes use graphs. Graphs use lines, bars, or even pies to make information easier for people to understand. Graphs also make the information more interesting. Look at the graph on this page. It shows how many types of animals and plants have become extinct since 1800. This graph is called a line graph because it gives information with a curved line. To find information on a line graph, you need to look at where the curved line meets the bottom line and the line on the left side of the page. How many types of animals discovered in 1950? I see about 5,000 extinctions. Do you agree? How many extinctions were there in 2010? I see about 36,000. That's a lot. Did you know that so many animals were disappearing? Scientists use graphs like this to show information to us. They help us understand complicated information. Graphs convince us about scientists' conclusion. This graph shows us what types of animals and plants are disappearing more quickly than in the past. Why is this happening? After scientists decided what their information means, they tried to find out why. Scientists give us some reasons. The places where animals live are being destroyed by humans. The population of the world is growing, but the size of the earth is not growing. In 1950, there were about 2.5 billion people in the world. Now there are about 6 billion people. How many people will live on earth in 2050? All people need places to live and places to grow food. When people need more food or more land, they use places where animals live. They cut down forests, they build roads, they build new houses and plant fields. When we do this, we kill plants and animals. Strong animals and plants from different parts of the world move to new parts of the earth. Have you ever bought food or clothes that were made in another part of the world? I have a pair of shoes made in Vietnam and a shirt made in France. When we move things from one part of the world to another part of the world, we also bring insects and plants accidentally. Sometimes these insects and plants are very strong. They eat a lot and grow, so some of the plants and animals that live in a place die because they don't have anything to eat. Pollution. A lot of people use chemicals in their gardens to protect them from insects. These chemicals are called pesticides. When it rains, these pesticides can go into rivers, lakes, and groundwater. This can kill plants and animals hundreds of kilometers away from your garden. It can also kill plants and animals in the ocean. Why is it important to protect endangered species? Medicine. Have you ever wondered where new medicine come from? How do scientists invent these new medicines? Lots of new medicines come from rare plants and animals. About 40% of all medicines come from plants and animals. However, there are many plants and animals that we have not discovered yet. If these become extinct before we can study them, we may not learn about their healing properties. For example, the Pacific yew tree was recently studied. Scientists learned that its bark can be used to create an important drug to treat cancer in women. What can we do about it? Now you probably wonder, what can we do to help? Scientists point to many different things we can do every day to slow down the extinction of plants and animals. Learn about endangered plants and animals in your area. Scientists in your area know which animals and plants might disappear. You can work with local groups to learn about these endangered species. You can also help them protect these plants and animals. For example, in Mexico City, scientists have recently found that a small lizard called ajolote is endangered. The lizard can only be found in 3 lakes in Mexico City: Lake Xochimilco, Lake Chalco, and Lake Viejo in Chapultepec Park. Almost all of these lizards die because of pollution. Now teams of scientists from UNAM are working to protect these lizards. Put native plants in your garden. To help native plants and animals, you can plant native species of plants in your garden. Native species are plants and animals that have lived in your area for thousands of years. This will help protect these native plants. It will also make new places for native animals to live. You can probably volunteer in your community to plant native species in parks. What are some native plants in your area? Visit parks, wildlife refuges, and open spaces in your area. When lands are protected, they provide habitat to native wildlife such as birds, fish, and plants. Scientists say that the best way to protect endangered species is to protect the places they live in. Tell your family not to use pesticides and herbicides. Ask your parents to avoid using pesticides and herbicides in their garden. You may think that they help your garden look pretty, but they affect the native wildlife on many levels. Amphibians are very affected by these harmful chemicals in their habitat. Recycle and buy sustainable products. Recycle your paper, cans, bottles, and plastic. We can use these materials for new products instead of cutting down more forests or drilling for more oil. Another thing you can do is not to buy furniture made from rainforest wood. You can also recycle your cell phone. This is important because some materials in cell phones come from places where endangered animals live. For example, a material called coltan is used in computer chips for cell phones. This comes from the Congo, in areas where gorillas live. If we recycle this material, we can save more space for gorillas. Slow down when driving. A lot of endangered animals live in areas with roads. Animals constantly try to cross the roads from one side to the other. It helps if you drive slowly and watch for animals on the road. Avoid products made from endangered species. Animals' parts such as tortoise shells, ivory, and coral make beautiful objects like jewelry or eyeglassware. In some places, it is illegal to make things with endangered species when you travel. Be sure you do not buy things made from endangered species. Make your home wildlife friendly. Use locking lids for your garbage cans. This way, native animals don't eat from your litter and so don't get sick. You can also place window decals so birds don't collide with your window. Millions of birds die because of this. As you can see, there are many things you can do to help. Why not start helping today? All this information comes from looking at one little graph. Wow. Now you might understand why it is so important to give people information using graphs. You can make graphs yourselves. They can help you convince people about what you want. Business people also use graphs all the time to convince investors to give them money. Politicians use graphics to convince people about new laws. Even teachers use graphs to help students understand difficult information. Can you imagine using a graph to convince your parents to buy you a new computer, or to convince your friends to let you play goalkeeper? You might try it.